If you want to make a lot of money from cold email, if you want to send out emails to hundreds and thousands, potentially millions of people qualified to buy from you, you need the infrastructure which is going to support that. Because let me tell you one thing, even if you're sending a lot of emails, but if they're landing in spam, or if it's costing you a lot of money that you cannot even sustain it, it's just not profitable. It's just not going to work out. Because if people don't read your emails, they're never going to buy from you. And at the same time, if you're paying like hundreds and thousands of dollars just to send out simple emails to strangers, you're going to run out of cash. And again, it's not going to work out. So I'm going to show you the best infrastructure to send cold emails at scale, tested across millions of sends by not just me, but also a lot of reputed people in the industry. And I'm going to compare all the three things, or the four things, sorry, you can do to send cold emails at scale. There are realistically four options, four different ways you can go. Either you can buy paid inboxes from Microsoft, like Outlook inboxes, or you can buy Google Workspace inboxes from Google, or you can do something known as private SMTP. Basically, you get a server and you send emails from that server. If you don't know what that means, like, you have to be kind of like a geek in order to get SMTP properly, to understand it properly. And trust me, if you're not a geek, if you don't even know what SMTP is, just don't even like consider it. It's much complicated than it seems. Like, I know it looks really good. Oh my god, I can just go and I can just like sign up for a free server and I pay $7 a month and I can send like unlimited emails. Trust me, it's much worse. SMTP looks great on paper, but it's not meant for cold email. It's only there for sending like transactional emails, like the type of emails Amazon sends you to tell you that your order has arrived. So if you don't understand what that is, don't even consider about that. Like, don't even think of getting over there. Last but not the least is going to be free Gmail or Outlook accounts. Basically getting like hundreds, 200, thousands of different free Outlook accounts, free Gmail accounts, and sending out emails using them. So these are realistically all the options we have. I've tried and tested all of them. There's nothing which I have not particularly used over here to send emails. I made like a video a year ago, and at that time I literally showed you and I literally told you that okay, Gmail accounts we are free to use. They're literally the best, but a lot has changed since in the cold email space, and a lot of new better ways of sending out cold emails at scale have come to the surface. So I just made like a simple table which you're going to be using to compare all the different things, and then you can make a well-informed decision what makes the most sense for you. So coming to the cost, Microsoft is the cheapest. Like, I know you might be wondering, Hermel, Microsoft costs like $6, $7.2 a month per inbox. Why have you written like 6 cents an inbox? And there's a way you can actually get like Microsoft inboxes for just 6 cents. So I'm going to consider that as the cost per inbox. And I'm going to show you in this video live, creating everything in front of your eyes, how exactly this works. So I'm not just saying, like, I'm not just making this shit up. Like, a lot of people say, yeah, you can get like reseller prices, whatever, and they never show you how. You even buy the paid courses. Like, a lot of people know who I'm speaking about. You buy the paid courses and they still won't share it with you. So I'm actually going to show you live in this free video how exactly you can do that. So it costs 6 cents an inbox. If you buy Google Workspace via resellers, like originally it cost like $8 a month per inbox, but if you buy via resellers, you get it for $3.5 per inbox. If any reseller is selling inboxes to you for less than $3, I probably would stay away, because if they're selling it cheaper, then they're using like non-profit educational panels, which just got cracked down by Google. So deliverability on that is absolutely whack. You should be paying at least $3, max to max $2.8 minimum to send out emails by getting these workspace accounts via resellers. SMTP, again, it's like a very broad range. But if you're using like SMTP inboxes, which is a much better version of SMTP, then you're going to be paying around like $1 to $3 per inbox. There are also SMTP servers, basically servers which are meant for sending out hundreds and thousands of millions of emails. For example, the servers used by Amazon, the servers used by Microsoft to send transactional emails, marketing emails. These are not meant for cold email, so it's not a smart idea. Firstly, you will never, like, in order to have good deliverability with SMTP servers, you need to use a reputed SMTP server like the one offered by Amazon. And these companies are never going to approve you for sending out cold emails. So it's out of bound. And if you try to create your own SMTP server, you're probably going to get like absolutely shit deliverability, because you have like no reputation built up. So the only realistic way is buying SMTP inboxes from people who sell that for a living, and it's going to cost you like $1 to $3 per inbox. And free email accounts, of course, they're free to create, But if you're going to be sending emails at scale, you need hundreds and thousands of them, and you're probably going to buy them from someone. And I've seen it cost like $4 to $10 one time to get one free account. If you like, of course, I'm considering like these are old accounts, and like app passwords, whatever things are needed to connect these two email sending softwares are already configured. You can get it cheaper as well, but again, you have to spend a lot of time to fixing the mess you get after that. Now, coming to deliverability, Microsoft is super high. Like Microsoft has really good deliverability. There's a reason it's used by like 71% of the Fortune 500 companies. And right now, I would say it's like really high, if not the highest compared to everyone else. Now, when it comes to deliverability you get with Google, it's either high. I'm not gonna lie and say like it's shit or something, just so that you can buy like that's what Outlook resellers do. Like they say that everything else is shit and only they're good. But the reality is like Google has good deliverability as well. We also use Google. The problem with Google is it's very volatile. Like sometimes you're gonna get like really good deliverability and sometimes you're gonna get really bad deliverability. Every couple of months and weeks, like Google has an event where they basically like burn your infrastructure or some shit. So when there's like a bad period, deliverability is kind of decent. It's definitely worse than Microsoft. But if everything is going well, I think Google still has the best deliverability. And Microsoft, again, it's super high, maybe not as good as Google. So if Google is 100, Microsoft is maybe around like 93, 95. So it's really good. But again, I think if you want the absolute highest deliverability, Google might be the play. So deliverability with SMTP is usually bad. Like you have to find like one supplier, and for that you have to test with like 100 different people, and only then you might be able to find it. So the chances of you finding a good SMTP server for sending cold emails, a good SMTP provider, is almost zero. Like I think it's better to gamble your money than to buy SMTP inboxes, because usually it's bad and it's very difficult to get it right. Like I'll try in the future, I might be able to figure it out and I'll update you guys. But as of me filming this video, it's usually bad. And free emails have decent deliverability like Gmail and Outlook emails. I think they have better deliverability than SMTP servers at least. Like if I had to choose between this and free emails, I'll definitely go with free emails. Anyways, trust from the receiver, like when someone receives an email from you, how much do they trust you? So in all these cases, if they actually receive an email and it lands in the inbox, there's no way for them to know if it's a Microsoft email, Google email, or a SMTP email, because your own custom domain is going to be attacked. So trust over here is going to be high. But on free emails, because you're sending from a free email address, you're going to have the gmail.com, outlook.com, proton.me, or whatever email provider you're using, you're going to have their domain and not your own domain. So the trust from the receiver is not going to be high. What is the risk of your infrastructure getting burned? Basically, when you send cold emails, like there's always a chance that the email inboxes, whatever you're using, the domains you're using, your IP addresses, they get blacklisted and your entire infrastructure burns, which means you have to buy new inboxes and shit, and you have to basically waste a lot of money. And till the time you're provisioning new infrastructure, you cannot get everything replaced. So Microsoft, it has super low risk. The best analogy I can give you is Microsoft is like that cool uncle who does not care what you're doing. So you could just like do whatever the hell you want to do. You can leave your house at like 9 a.m. in the morning and come back at like 11 p.m. in the night, and you're just like playing out with your friends or some shit. Imagine you're like a 14, 15-year-old kid. So that's probably a better example. Yeah, Microsoft is like that cool uncle who does not give a shit what you're doing. It's like, okay, do whatever the hell you want to do. Don't just like something absolutely insane. Like, just don't go and murder someone. As long as you're not doing something crazy, fine, do whatever you want. So Microsoft is like that. So the burning, like the infrastructure burning risk is super low. Like a quick side tangent, someone just asked me like, yo, Saumil, how long has your infrastructure been live for? And I said, yeah, I just created these inboxes like 6 months ago. And he was like, for 6 months, your domains have not been burned, and I'm sending like thousands of emails a day. I was like, yeah. And like, oh, I'm using Google. The domains, everything, it just burns out constantly. So the risk of infrastructure being burned is low. If you use Google, the chances of infrastructure being burned is, I would say, pretty high. I just wrote like medium to say like it's maybe not as bad, but to be honest, it's high. With Google, you have to get a lot of things right. Google is much more strict. So you have to send out fewer emails. You have to warm up longer. You have to ensure that you're using the correct copy and everything. Google is much more strict. Microsoft is much more lenient. And with SMTP, the chances of infrastructure being burned is the highest, because you're just like sending emails from a random IP address. And the email goes Google and Microsoft, which most people use for receiving emails. They don't trust that shit. So if you're getting an email from an IP address that belongs to Google or to Microsoft, it's much higher on the reputation side because Google already knows, Microsoft already knows that someone is paying for the inboxes. But if it's from like a random IP address, which is what mostly you like, that's mostly used by scammers, right? So the infrastructure burning risk is the highest on SMTP, and even on free emails, it's pretty high. Earlier, it used to be much better, but right now, like I don't even sell inboxes anymore. Like we used to sell like free inboxes as well, like free Gmail inboxes, and people used to buy them a lot. We used to make a lot of money, but we absolutely stopped doing that because the inboxes we used to deliver, and like after one day, they used to get like banned because like Google is cracking down hard on this. It's getting much more difficult to get these free email accounts to work. They get banned a lot, and yeah, it's just not as good. Earlier, we were able to send like 50 emails a day per inbox. Now you send like 10, and again, the account gets banned. So, infrastructure burning risk over here is high. Google is pretty bad right now, I'll just say. So, workspace accounts, they're medium to high. Free Gmails, I think it's like absolutely bad. Now, coming to cents per domain, how many emails can be sent per connected domain? So, on Microsoft per domain, you create 100 inboxes, and one inbox sends like 5 cold emails. So 100 times 5 is 500 emails can be sent per domain. Google, I'm assuming you create like around like 3 to 4 inboxes per domain, and you're sending like 15 to 20 emails, so you can send more inbox, like you can send more emails per inbox, but you cannot create a lot of inboxes on Google. So the total number of daily sends is going to be around 60. If you're using SMTP, people usually send like 10 cold emails a day per inbox, and you create like 3 to 5 inboxes per domain. That's the normal practice. So you're able to send like 30 to 50 emails per domain. And on emails, it's like the free ones, it's not applicable because you're not buying domains, because you cannot even connect your domain. So you might be wondering, like, how does it matter? It does matter. It does add up the cost, because with Microsoft, you have to buy less domains. You have to buy like almost 10 times fewer domains compared to Google. And the domain cost, it's not a lot, $4, whatever, but it does catch up. It does add up over time. Now, coming to the warm up period, how long you have to warm up the inboxes. So after an inbox is created, you have to warm it up for at least 3 days. If you're using Google, at least 2 to 4 weeks, so 14 to 28 days. Same with SMTP. And free emails, like 14 to 28 days with free emails, considering that you're actually using like legit email accounts. So if you're using like a free email account which you just created, you have to warm it up much longer. But I'm assuming you bought like a 2 to 3 year old account, and you just like added it to warm up. 14 to 28 days minimum. When it comes to strictness with outbound, like how strict it's going to be and everything, the same logic. Like Microsoft is like that cool uncle, whatever. So Microsoft is very lenient. Google is strict. SMTP is the strictest. And free emails are like medium to high. Not that bad, but usually. But right now, it's super high. So yeah, it's kind of strict. After that, inboxes per domain, how many inboxes you can create per domain? Microsoft 100, Google 3 to 4, SMTP 3 to 5. Free emails not applicable because you don't have like the domain system. Anyways, coming to the main thing, like, deliverability. And then the next thing which probably only matters is it reliable, which Microsoft is. And then the next thing you're going to be like, okay, cool, like there are different things like how many you can send, how many inboxes you can create and send, but how much does it cost to send 1 million emails? This is math done by AI. I gave it all the stats. So if you're using Microsoft, according to AI, you're going to be spending around $769. I can break it up for you. Just drop a comment if you want that. If you're using Google, considering you're paying like $3.5 per inbox, like I'm using these exact numbers over here. So I'm not charging you like $8 a month for Google inboxes. I'm using like the cheapest prices, the realistic prices. You're going to be paying $3.5. $3 is normal. That's what you're obviously going to be paying if you're using like resellers. So with Microsoft, 169, Google $10,745 a month. With SMTP, it's going to be like 9,336. And with free mails, it's going to be 16,670. This includes tenants, this includes inbox creation softwares which you need, this includes the domains, everything is included. So I considered all of these things. So you can see Microsoft from this looks great because you can send a lot of emails cheaply. It's the cheapest. You get really good deliverability, and it's like trusted by people who receive it, and the risk of your infrastructure being burned is low. And because it's not very strict with outbound, you can fuck up and still you won't be penalized a lot for it. So if you know exactly what you're doing and you're doing like low volume personalized outbound, I'll suggest you to go with Google. If you're sending like 10 to 50 cold emails a day, manually writing it out, hyper personalized, go with Google. That's what I'll suggest. If you're doing outbound on scale and want the best ROI, so basically you want to make as much money as possible from what you invest, and you don't want a lot of headaches, just go with Microsoft. You're probably wondering at this point, how can you get like Microsoft inboxes for just 6 cents? Because I go on to Microsoft site and it says like $6 to $7.2 a month per inbox. And you're just saying like I can get it like 100 times cheaper. How exactly am I going to do that? Well, the rest of this video is going to show you exactly that. So see you in a few minutes. Now, before you go and start creating the inboxes at Microsoft, you need to have a rough understanding of all the three different things you require in order to do the same. The first thing you need is going to be a domain so that you can just tell the person receiving the email that you're an actual human being from the company you represent. Let's say a person reaches out to you from Apple support and the person is like, yo, I'm reaching out. I saw that you created a support ticket. If he uses a generic Outlook or Gmail address, there's a chance like he might be lying. There's no way for you to know if this person is actually affiliated with the company or not. But if the email address he's using, if that includes apple.com domain instead of a free domain, then you know, okay, this person is actually legitimate. This person is actually from Apple. So we need a domain so that when people receive an email from you and they open up the website, they can see, okay, this is what the website is about. This is what the company does. And this person actually belongs to the company. They're not trying to fool me. And of course, you're going to get better deliverability as well compared to using free domains. So by default, Microsoft gives you like a free domain, which is there by default, but we don't want to use that. It's a Microsoft domain and we're going to be using our own separate domains. So you're going to be buying domains. For example, if your company is called abc.com, you're going to be buying domains like tryabc.com, useabc.com. And whenever people go to that website, because that's not your main website, because if you use your main domain, there's a chance it might get burned. We don't want to do that. What we do is we set up redirects using our platform only. So whenever people go on that particular website, they are automatically redirected to your main website. So that's going to be the domain part. Once you have the domain, you need something known as a Microsoft tenant. And the simplest way I can explain that, I know over here we have given a separate example, but let's say there's a, like you're moving to a new city and you figure out there's a guy who owns a apartment complex and they have 100 apartments in the massive building in front of you. So you can go to that guy and you can be like, yo, I want to avail the services you guys offer at this apartment complex. I know you have this apartment. I want to maybe access the pool. I want to access the gym. I want to access the sauna, the jacuzzi. I want to live in the apartments as well. And the person is like, okay, cool. You're going to have to pay $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month to rent out this place. And basically, you're just renting out that apartment from the guy who owns the apartment complex. And in exchange, once you pay him the money, he's going to give you like a room card and you can scan that room card on your door so that the apartment basically like so that you can access the thing which you paid for. Microsoft is the same. So Microsoft has a whole host of services which you can use. For example, you can use Outlook for sending out emails. You can use Microsoft Teams for getting on meetings and everything. And a tenant is basically you paying Microsoft a monthly rent to access these things. And in exchange, so that Microsoft can authenticate it's actually you trying to use the services for which it has received the money, they're going to give you an email and a password with which you can log into the tenant, you can create inboxes, you can send emails, you can receive emails, reply to people, all from the particular tenant. In one tenant, you can do a lot of things. There are a lot of services which Microsoft offers. You can use all of them with just one license. But currently, we're only focused on using Outlook for sending out emails. So yeah, that's what tenants are all about. Now, once you have the tenants and the domain, you can be like, that's all I need. I just connect my domain to the tenant and then I start creating out the inboxes. Firstly, that's going to be a very tiresome process. That's going to be a very manual process. Like imagine say, like filling out the first name, the last name and the domain name for 100 people per tenant. And it's going to take a lot of time basically. If you're doing it for like thousands of inboxes, bro, you're in for some trouble. Like it's going to take hours and hours and hours. Then you have to manually set out all the DNS records. Like everything is manual. Everything is time consuming. Yes, this can be automated via code. Firstly, not everything can be automated via code, but many processes in Microsoft can be automated via code. But again, that requires you to have coding knowledge. That requires you to understand how code and everything works, which I assume 99.9% of you watching this video don't know. You're not geeks. You're just here to do some marketing and to make some money, not to figure out the development side of everything. So you need a platform which provides you the technology to create inboxes. Because one more thing you cannot, which you don't realize, is Microsoft is not actually offering like 100 inboxes for $6. Like it's not offering 100 free inboxes per tenant. There's a loophole which us and all the other resellers who you've probably heard of, which they're using. And we just provide you the technology via unlimitedinboxes.com to automate the process of creation of these 100 tenants, of 100 inboxes, sorry, with just one tenant license attached. So to put it out simply, if you try to normally create 100 inboxes, you have to attach one license to each inbox. And one license costs at least $6 a month. So you're going to be paying $600 for 100 inboxes. But I promise you, you're going to get 100 inboxes for just $6. And that means you have only one license you can buy with the $6. So there's a way of doing this, which no reseller is going to tell you. The other companies which tell you how this can be done, they charge like $10,000 to $20,000 for this one time. But we're going to allow you to do that for just $99 a month, and you can create as many inboxes as you want. So we're going to save you hours of your time and hundreds and thousands of dollars, because without us, you'll have to pay $6 a month per inbox. So in case you're wondering what that platform is, it's unlimitedinboxes.com. You can go to this website and you can sign up from here. The first 100 inboxes we're able to provide you for like $1 or something like that, almost free. And that fee is just there to like authenticate the real human being and everything. So now just some rules about the numbers and everything, because I'm sure you have many questions. On each tenant, we're going to connect to one domain and we're going to create 100 inboxes. Now you might be like, oh, on Google, I have only connected 2 inboxes or 4 inboxes, 3 inboxes per domain. You're telling me I have to create 100 inboxes per domain? What the hell is that? Just trust me. Microsoft works differently. Microsoft is used by 71% of the Fortune 500 companies. You need to realize these companies have tens and thousands of employees. So Microsoft is built in a different way compared to Google. Google is mostly used by small, medium businesses. Microsoft is used by these massive Fortune 500 companies. From each inbox, we're going to be sending out 5 cold emails. Now you're like, that's pretty low. On Google, I've heard you can send 15 to 20 emails, sometimes 10 emails. Yes, but because you have so many inboxes per tenant, the total number of emails you're sending per domain is much higher. So on Google, you have one domain and you have, let's say, 3 inboxes and you're sending like, let's say, 15 emails. You're sending 45 emails per domain. Over here, you're sending 500 emails per domain. So even though you're sending less emails per domain, per inbox, sorry, overall, it's cheaper. Overall, you're able to send more. And you send 5 to 7 warm-up emails daily. So if you do the math across like 100 different inboxes, this is going to be total 1,000 to 1,200 emails sent per tenant. And there's like, earlier there used to be like a fixed limit on how many total emails could be sent out per tenant. I think it was around 2,000. I'm not 100% sure. But now Microsoft has added some smart stuff. Basically, they monitor. If your sending reputation is really good, then you can send out more emails. Technically, I'm not going to suggest you to go over 5. I'll always suggest you to scale by buying more inboxes and buying more domains. But technically, it should be possible for you to send more if your reputation, everything is good. And if your reputation is absolutely crap, if you're sending emails to like the wrong people, then again, that's an issue. And you might be restricted and you might be sending out a smaller volume of emails. And in case you're wondering like what could go wrong, number one, you could buy a domain or you could use a domain which is burned. All of that will be covered later. You could get a tenant with a really low quality IP address. We're going to show you how you can avoid that in the future as well. And last but not the least, you're either sending out the wrong messages, you're using the wrong copy, you're using like links and spammy words, or you're reaching out to the wrong people, which means you're not getting any replies. So Google and Microsoft think that you're like a spammer because no human is replying to you. And last but definitely not the least, you might be an idiot who's not verifying his email addresses before sending out. So you're not validating the lead list which you have, and that's why all of the emails are bouncing. So there are multiple things which could go wrong, and if that happens, your sending volume might be inhibited. But this is the setting used by literally the biggest people in the industry. I know people sending over 10 million cold emails for their company, making hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars. So yeah, these are the settings which they use. So total 15,000 cold emails you should be able to send a month per tenant, and one tenant, by the way, costs around $6 to procure, which is very freaking cheap. $6 for 15,000 cold emails. This is the best configuration based on observation after millions of emails sent. So this is how Microsoft inboxes are gonna work. So now that you understand the process of inbox creation on Microsoft, you realize that the first thing you require is going to be the domain, which you're going to be attaching to the inboxes you're going to be creating in the near future. So you might have two questions mostly about domains. I don't think so you can have any other question. You're like, what type of domains do I buy? Do you have to buy the expensive .ai, .io domains or what? .com is the king of domains if you have the budget. It's not very expensive. It's not the cheapest either. A .com domain on average costs around $10 a year, which again is pretty affordable. It's less than like $1 a month. So go with .com if you have the budget. If you're not doing this on an enormous scale. So I would say if you have like less than 1,000 inboxes you plan on creating, that is going to require like 10 domains. So buy .com. If budget is not a constraint, if budget is a constraint, obviously you can use something like .info. So after a lot of observation by me and other people in the industry, .info is not that bad compared to .com. Like for reference, we still use .info for our clients. So .info domains are absolutely great if you're tight on a budget, or if you simply want to keep costs low as you scale. So I know a lot of people who make a lot of money from cold email use .info domains because they're like, I'm scaling, I'm sending out hundreds and thousands, millions of emails. So why would I use something which is very expensive but does not give me the results I want? Sure, like $10 a year is not that expensive, but compared to a .info domains, it's almost like 2 to 2.5 times more. So when you scale a lot, or if you're really tight on a budget, the costs do add up. So, like the recommendation I have is if you have the money, if maybe you're not doing it on a massive volume, go with .com. If money is kind of like a constraint for you, if you plan on doing it on a very massive scale and you want to keep costs as low as possible, use .info. Like they're really cheap and it's gonna be worth it. To be honest, like the TLD, that's what they call like .info, .com, .io. That's basically called the TLD of the domain, if I'm not wrong. It does not matter as much as you think. We use like .1 domains, we use .pro. I cannot give you any insights on domains which you not bought. You only bought .pro, .1, .io, .ai, .com, .info. So these domains, they all work fine, but the two recommendations I have the most for you, .com and after that .info. Do not spend your money on .io or .ai. The extra amount of money you have to pay, it's not worth it. You don't see like a massive increase in performance or something like that. Now you might be wondering, okay, cool, I know what type of domains I have to buy. Where exactly am I supposed to buy the domains from? And in case you're wondering, like any site works, they don't pay me, so I genuinely don't give a shit. Use any site, like I'm telling you, any domain register which is kind of reputed. If they're not like an absolute scam, they should be fine. Like use anything you have. Namecheap, Spaceship, Pokebun, GoDaddy, Hostinger, what's another one? Like, I don't know, like one.com. But some of these domain registrars, like I know one.com, a lot of the time they have some crazy deals, like you can get 3.pro. Like some random domains for like $1 to $2. So sometimes they have these deals as well. So if you're getting like a crazy deal, maybe you can go with that. But apart from that, all of these should work. And in case you're wondering like what type of domain should I be buying or something like that, bro, just ask ChatGPT. Tell it like this is my company domain and I want to create like 10 different domains for cold email. Tell me what to do. So I'll do it live in front of you. One more thing I wanted to say is if you plan on doing, like if you plan on buying a lot of domains, if you plan on doing this outbound thing on scale, then preferably you should use a platform which allows you to buy domains in bulk. And I've heard like Pokebun and Spaceship are really good for this. I've also heard that Pokebun offers you discounts if you buy like a lot of domains from them. You have to contact them or something, I guess. I don't use Pokebun a lot. I mostly use like Namecheap and Hostinger. But Spaceship I've used, it's fine. Pokebun is fine. They all freaking work. But just ensure that they allow like bulk purchasing and bulk management in case you're looking to do it. The biggest names in the industry, I know they mostly buy from Pokebun. So if that's worth the center something, and you can just tell ChatGPT what you want. Your ChatGPT, my domain is unlimitedinboxes.com. I have that company and I want 10 different domain variations which I can use for sending out cold emails. Basically, I want to create inboxes for my company for sending out cold emails. I don't want to burn my main domain. So give me like 10 different variations of my inbox, of my domain, sorry, which I can use for this cold email thing. And you just like give it to any AI of your choice, and it's going to split out the thing which you're looking for. It's not that difficult, it's not that complicated. If one of those domains is taken, ask AI to generate like more, and yeah, just choose them. So now that you've acquired the domains which you're going to be connecting to the inboxes which you plan on creating, the next thing is going to be acquiring the tenants which we're going to be connecting to the domains which we have just bought, so that you can use the domains to create the inboxes. So there are three different ways you can acquire these tenants from Microsoft, and you have to choose the correct method because there's no right or wrong answer depending on how many inboxes you're trying to create, depending on how many tenants you're looking for, depending on what your budget looks like. There are going to be different methods which are more suited to help you get what you want. So I'm going to walk you through all the options, watch this video, and then make a well-informed decision to figure out what's going to be the right choice for you. The first option is becoming a Microsoft partner. So basically, Microsoft has something called a CSP, which allows you to basically sell all of the services which they offer, like Microsoft tenants and all of that stuff. So you can become a Microsoft official CSP. And if you become a CSP and then you're provisioning tenants, it only costs a couple dollars per tenant. Like, I'm not a partner, so I cannot tell you exactly what it costs, but I promise you it's somewhere around like $5 to $6, maybe even cheaper as well. So this is going to be the best option because you can create as many tenants as you want, and it's going to be the cheapest option as well. So it's very easy to create the tenants once you have been approved as a partner. It's very affordable. You don't have to pay a lot of money, and this is the best long-term option. But I just trust me, it costs a lot, it takes a lot of time. Like, maybe it does not involve a lot of like monetary costs, which it does because you have to get your company registered and you have to deal with like a lot of paperwork and a lot of bullshit. And to be honest, until unless you plan on sending like 10 million emails a month or something, I don't think so this is worth it, the amount of headache it takes. Also, they have like really strict requirements. I think you have to be making like 1 million or something. Like, I'll just search it up. If you just look at the, yeah, you can see at least 1 million US dollars in eligible revenue to become like a direct partner. So it's kind of difficult for you to get it if you're making more than $1 million from just being a Microsoft partner from selling the shit. And you might be wondering, like, before I become a partner, what do like how can I do that? Basically, I have to become something called indirect reseller. Just trust me, it's like a lot of hassle. I know 99.9% people watching this video, you guys are never going to do it, so I'm not even going to go in depth. You can go research it. Microsoft has their own articles on it. Hire like a lawyer or some shit and try to get approved if you can. If you do get approved, please reach out to me. I would love to buy tenants from you as well. It's going to be great. But I personally don't think so. It's somewhat worth the amount of headache it takes to get approved as a partner, and it's just not worth it. The second option you have is simply buying a license directly from Microsoft. So Microsoft sells tenant licenses directly to customers and users as well. And if I open it up a new window in an incognito window, I'll show you the exact pricing. So you can come over here onto this website. It's not an affiliate link. You can just go to Microsoft 365 license or something. Come over to business over here. You can see if we come over to monthly billing. Yeah, you can get a license for like $7.20. And if you get it like without Microsoft Teams, I think it's going to be like $6. So plans without Teams, I think it's like $6 or something. So yeah, you can get a license, a Microsoft 365 Business Basic license directly from Microsoft. You also get like a 1 month free trial. So you can literally get this thing for free as well. And if you use like a country like India or some third world country, you're going to get it even cheaper. So this is for the US. If you want to, like, let's say get Indian pricing, instead of US, you like write IN over here. And of course, you have to enter Indian bank. Like, it's kind of complicated. Maybe it's not as simple. You can try it out if you want. And if you come over to monthly, This comes down to around like $2, I think. So it's like almost 66% cheaper, almost like three times cheaper. So you can get it from like an Indian IP, but again, the IP addresses of these third world countries, it's going to be lower. So I'll suggest you to buy like a $6 license only from Microsoft. So yeah, just simply buy a license directly from Microsoft. It's going to cost you around $6 per tenant, and it's really fast because you can literally go and in like 1 to 2 minutes you can sign up and you can get a license, and it's really cheap as well, like $6 per license. You also get like a free 1 month trial, so you can literally get started for free. But deliverability might be bad, especially if you plan on doing this on scale. So you're not gonna get the highest quality IP address. So deliverability might not be perfect. I'm not lying and saying like I make no money on me saying that yeah, deliverability is gonna be fine. Every other reseller, every other supplier of these cheap inboxes you were watching videos from, they say that if you don't buy from them, it's gonna be absolute nightmare. That's not true. We have some inboxes using this. They're not the best in terms of deliverability, but it's not absolutely terrible either. We get like a 2.5 reply, like 2.5% reply rates if the copy offer everything is good. That's what we average with these inboxes. So it's not terrible, but it's not as good as getting like a direct license, like a license directly from Microsoft CSP, either by becoming one or buying from a guy who's already a CSP and he's able to hook you up with licenses. So deliverability might be bad, but it's again fast and cheap. And the reason I don't suggest this, even though it sounds great on paper. You're like, yo, I'm just gonna buy like multiple licenses, like 10 licenses for $60, and I'm gonna create like 10 different accounts, and then I'll be able to send like 150,000 cold emails a month. It sounds great on paper, but the thing is, if you create like multiple tenants from the same card, same address, everything, same IP address, Microsoft can detect you, and it can nuke all of the tenants, and they won't even give you a refund. Trust me, it happened to us like literally yesterday. I don't like it does not show over here that it happened yesterday, but like 1 or 2 days ago, literally my team member texted me, bro, maybe I've lost all the tenants. You can see over here, Microsoft sending an email. Microsoft 365 Business Basic subscription has been disabled. So Microsoft disabled our all the tenants which we had. So I think we got like 5 tenants this way. Second tenant also gone. First tenant was gone, and 4 out of tenants were literally destroyed. And the guy's like, I don't know how long the fifth one will stay. I don't know what to say now. And I was like, crazy, bro. Let me look for alternative solutions. So this thing can happen. That's what happens if you try to create like multiple tenants. Firstly, it's kind of going to be a hassle, just like doing it again and again, because Microsoft has like strong anti-detection things in place. You cannot just buy like a new IP address or like a residential proxy or something. It's not as simple. Microsoft is worth billions of dollars. They've invested a lot of money into this. You can't do it for free. Like, to be honest, I've done it multiple times. I was fine, but there's a high chance if they detect you, they're going to nuke all of your tenants, and all of infrastructure can be destroyed in one freaking day. All it has to take is Microsoft just figuring it out that this guy is doing something they're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to, like, what can happen is either you can, like, I'm not saying that you cannot buy multiple licenses from Microsoft directly. If you do this, you can literally just create, you can buy one license, and on that one particular tenant, you can buy as many licenses as you want. But if you want the thing which we're selling, which we allow you to do, which is create 100 inboxes per tenant with just one license, you need like multiple tenants. And that's why this is like you're kind of gaming the system so Microsoft can figure it out. So accounts may start getting banned, and it's like a mess to manage if you own multiple tenants. Most of the people who are outside the US are watching this video, you're gonna get like a terrible IP reputation as well, which destroys your infrastructure. Try sending out cold emails with the Bangladeshi IP address. No one's gonna buy from you. And to be honest, bro, it's simply not worth the money you save compared to getting a dedicated tenant from a CSP with a good IP address. It does not have to be US. US is the one which we all use. It's the most common one. But you can use like a European IP address as well. That's fine too. It does not really matter. The next option, which I would recommend you to do, which is going to be the thing most of you watching this video are going to be doing, like 95% plus, is buy a tenant from resellers and CSPs. So this is going to cost you like $15 to $25 per tenant on average. And again, I'm not saying this is the cheapest, but you pay for quality and convenience, because you can place an order for 100 tenants, and in 2 days, you're going to receive a CSV file with the tenant login and the tenant password, the email address and the password. You cannot do this by trying to buy licenses yourself and try to become a CSP Firstly, most of you are not even going to be eligible. But even if you try to do it, it's going to take like a lot of time. And you want to send emails by the next week. Or do you want to wait for like 3 months before you become a fucking CSP? I'm not sure about you. But my answer is clear. I don't mind paying a couple extra dollars to pay for convenience and for quality. This is going to be higher quality than buying a license directly from Microsoft, and it's going to be more convenient because you don't have to do anything. You just pay and you get the everything like just delivered to you in a Google Sheet. And last but not the least, also the convenience of the fact that you don't have to sit down and manually create everything, and you don't have to deal with tenants being new. So it's much more convenient, and the quality is going to be higher. I think this is the only realistic option for majority of the people watching this video if you want more than 100 to 200 inboxes. So if you only want like 500 to 1000 email sends a day, you can just go with the second route. I think that's going to be the best. If I was in your place, I'll do that. I'll buy like two different Microsoft licenses from different credit cards, different computers, different IP addresses or something, and then I'll create like 200 inboxes. That's going to be the cheapest and the best option probably for you. Deliverability might not be perfect, but it's not going to be terrible either. But if you plan on doing more, I think this is probably the only realistic option. You get the benefit of having like high quality IPs, US IPs. We can source you like European IP or the IPs as well if you want. You also get dedicated tenants, which you don't get when you buy a license directly from Microsoft. So the IP quality is going to be much higher. You won't get nuked, you won't get banned. Normally, what happens is when people want to do this, they use suppliers like tenantcode.io. Again, you can see it's like not affiliating. I don't even fucking own this company. But if you come over to the pricing and you're like over here, you can see it costs like $35 per tenant. And of course, if you buy like over 50 tenants, it can be like $25 a month per tenant, which again, for most people is kind of expensive, like $35 a tenant, $25 if you buy like 50 plus. That's kind of expensive. And we used to buy from them. They changed their pricing and shit recently, so you cannot buy like cheap tenants from them anymore. What we have done is, because we have this platform and we're like, yo, we have this awesome thing, hundreds and thousands of people are going to try this thing, and they want to buy these tents from a CSP. Provide us like a massive volume discount. I know you're selling it for like a lot of money to other people, but because we're going to get you so many customers, we want someone who's cheap. We want to partner up with you, and we'll basically, like, the thing is, because we have this platform, we're able to negotiate discounts from CSPs, and we're able to provide these tenants to you at much affordable prices. Because number one, we buy in bulk, and we can always say, yo, we have this platform and thousands of people are going to use this, so we can refer them all over you. And any normal sane businessman is going to say yes. So that's why we can provide you tenants for as low as $15. If you buy from this, which is the only legitimate service I know who sells these cold outbound inboxes or something, they charge $35 per tenant, but we're able to provide you the exact same thing for as low as $15. You get the same thing, you get it delivered at the same exact speed, like the standard market speed, whatever it is. Like on average, everyone takes like 2 days, 1 to 2 days to deliver the tenants, and on weekends they don't work. But sometimes we're able to get them to work on the weekends because we buy so much from them. But yeah, you get the same speed, if not better, because we buy a lot from them. So I promise, if you guys buy directly from resellers, we're going to be able to provide you the same inboxes faster. So you're paying for the same thing, you're paying less, and you're getting it much faster. And this is like 57% cheaper compared to buying directly from them. So you can buy through us because we own the platform, because we buy so many, we're able to get you discounts. Yes, we make money on this, but you still save money by just choosing us. Yes, we have a profit on it. That's because we're able to get crazy freaking discounts. Yeah, let us make the fucking money. You're getting it 57% cheaper compared to buying directly. And of course, we won't sell this if we did not have any margin. So if anyone's like, yo, he's trying to make money, yes, we're trying to make money. Welcome to business. Anyways, to avail this discount, all you need to do is go and create a free account at unlimitedinboxes.com. After that, you log in and you can go to this link, like go over to the tenant section in app, and you'll be able to order tenants directly from here. So I'll just simply like log in. I'm not sure if this is the correct account which I have. I don't remember my own password. Yeah. You can come over to the tenant section and you can enter like how many tenants you need. Let's say you need 10 tenants. You can select what type of tenant do you want. Do you want like a normal license or do you want a premium license? A premium license, as the name suggests, it's going to be a higher quality IP address. It's going to be much more premium. So you're going to get better deliverability. Normal is going to be normal, like what you get as a normal person. So you can get a normal tenant. It's going to be $15 a month per tenant. You can get a premium tenant. It's going to be $20 a month per tenant. So you can get this, just select that at the quantity, click on the get tenants, a checkout will be created. After you pay, you're automatically gonna see the tenants in your app dashboard, like the unlimited inboxes dashboard. In a couple of days, come over here. We do charge like a 6% service fee, like a transaction fee, because payment processors charge like 6% on average. And when like let's say we have to pay like $10, we have to take like $10.06 from you so that we get the $10 in a bank account and we can pay the tenant supplies. So yeah, we charge like a 6% processing fee. You can buy from us. Otherwise, go pay 57% more to all the resellers or try to become a CSP yourself and just try to make $1 million first before Microsoft even accepts you, or try to go and create these tenants on your own and deal with this shit. So again, the realistic option, the only realistic option for most of you, if you want to create over 100, 200 inboxes, buy a tenant from us. Or if you want to pay extra money and you want to wait more, you can buy directly from a CSP, whatever you prefer. So in order to create inboxes in Microsoft, you need a couple of things. The first thing is going to be the domain, which you're going to be using. So you should be logged into your domain register. You should be having the domain which you plan on using. You should have the tenant, email, and password. So basically, a Microsoft tenant is something which you use to log into Microsoft, and using that, we can create the Outlook inboxes. So you need like a login. So it's going to be an email address like this, and then a password. So you need both of them, and then you need an account on unlimitedinboxes.com. So just go over here and sign up if you don't have one already. The first thing which you're going to be doing is disabling multi-factor authentication on the tenants. Because if you have like multi-factor authentication turned on, so whenever we try to create inboxes on your tenant using our platform, it's going to require us to solve a captcha which only you're going to have. So it's not possible to create tenants without disabling multi-factor authentication. So that's what you have to do. So the first thing you do is simply go over to this website, enter.microsoft.com, and I'm already logged in on Microsoft. So I'll do this in an incognito window, and that's what I'll suggest you to do as well. So every single time you do it on an incognito window. So you simply come here and then you log in with your tenant email and your password. So I'll copy this, then I'll paste the password. Boom. And then I'll sign in. After that, it might ask you to set a multi-factor authentication. That's completely normal. So what you do when you see something like this, you click on next and then you set up like multi-factor authentication the way Microsoft requests it. So the most common way of doing this is going to be installing the Microsoft Authenticator app. So you just download this app from the Play Store. It's going to take you like a minute or two. And yeah, I know it's very annoying, and that's why we're disabling it so that you don't have to do it again and again. But the first time you log in, you probably have to do it. So open the Authenticator app, just scan the QR code, and it's automatically going to set up multi-factor authentication. And once you've done that, click on next. After that, it's going to show a number and you just enter that number in your authentication app, after which it's going to automatically log you in. Boom. And click on done. After that, you'll be taken to the correct place. And you can like stay signed in. We're just doing it once. So not really required. So that's what you do initially. After that, once you're logged into Entra, you simply on the left sidebar, click on overview and then you click on properties. So come here, waiting for it to load up. You can see overview, click on this, and over here, properties. Click on this. After that, come down to the bottom, you can see it says like your organization is protected by security defaults. Click on manage security defaults over here and click on disable and just select anything like this. Like I'm getting too many MFA attempts, whatever. Select anything, does not really matter. Click on save and disable the security defaults. So just like refresh it once to see that multi-factor authentication has been disabled properly or not. If you have disabled like multi-factor authentication and it says like over here that it has been disabled and you still see like multi-factor authentication attempts, then you just have to like wait out for some time, or you just use an incognito window when creating tenants, because sometimes like in the browser memory cache whatever, it's stored and it still asks for that, but most of you would not be having that issue. So that's the first thing you do. Simply disable multi-factor authentication. This is actually like the hard and the time consuming part. Once you do that, it's really simple. So what you do is you go over to app.unlimitedinboxes.com, which is like the place where you can actually access the app. You log in, whatever, and you come over to the order section and click on the new order button over here. So the first thing you're going to be doing is simply entering your, let's say your main details over here. So you enter the tenant email ID and a password. So I'll copy the email, I'll copy the password and click on continue. After that, it's going to show this like this thing, like it looks complicated. Just click on open consent button over here. And again, just log in with your tenant email and password and connect it to Microsoft. If you're already logged in, you'll see it over here. You can select it. Otherwise, just click on use another account, because I'm not logged in over here. We logged in on an incognito window, not a normal window. So enter that, enter the password. And this time it should not ask for multi-factor authentication because we have disabled that. Sign in, and yeah, you can see it didn't ask for multi-factor authentication. Just click on accept over here. After this, it's automatically going to close, and you can come back and click on the I have connected button over here. Then you enter the domain which you want to connect. So I'll find like a domain which we can use. Yeah, let's say I want to use this particular domain, leads engine, I guess. Yeah, let's say I want to use this one. So whatever domain you're using, just come out to the place where you can edit the DNS and the name server records. So firstly, I'll just copy this like leadsengine.co. So I'll do that. And then you click on the get name servers button. Name servers basically allow us to make changes to your DNS records on your domain so that we can automatically set up SPF, DKIM, DMARC and connect your domain to the Microsoft tenant. So it basically makes your life easier. We don't own control over your tenant by doing this. So you're going to get like different name servers over here every time, and you just like copy it and you come to the place where you can edit your name servers. Every domain registrar has name server, like the place where you can change the name servers. It's going to be different on every registrar. So you just like ask ChatGPT or you just Google it, how to change name servers in your DNS registrar. And hosting it's different, Pokebun is different, Namecheap it's different, but it's very simple. You just come to a place where you can change the name servers and then you just like paste them. So whatever name servers are there, you remove them and then you add like the new ones which we shared. So first one I've added, second one I'm going to add as well, and click on the save name servers button over here. If it's going to ask you like, are you sure you want to do this? Click on save. You can change it anytime. We're not buying your domain or something like that. We're just like using it to make changes. One thing I wanted to tell you, if you change your name servers, all the DNS changes are going to be reversed. So then your inboxes would stop working. So only do this if you actually want to no longer use your domain for the inboxes. Otherwise, it won't work. Anyways, click on the name servers updated button over here. And basically, it might say like name servers are not updated. And that means like you have to just wait. So there might be a bit of a delay after you make changes. So just keep on trying again and again till the time it finally works. I'll just wait for some time so that it's live. So after a couple seconds of waiting, it now is finally working. I just clicked on the name servers updated button and you can see this is the exact same domain. So I did not like create a new or something. Anyways, the next thing is you can set up redirect of the domain. So basically, I'm pretty sure if you're using these domains for cold email, you're not using your main domain, and I think you should not be doing that even if you are doing that. So you should always get burner domains. So let's say your company is like leadsengine.co, and you bought tryleadsengine.co, and what you want to do is like people receive an email from that particular domain and they might like Google it up. So what you want to do is you want to automatically redirect those people to your main site. So that's what redirects allow you to do. So over here, if you want to set up redirects, you can skip this one now as well. But if you want to set up redirects, just enter the URL where you want those people to go. So let's say leads.com is a place where I want these people to go. So I'll just like paste that over here. Like hypothetically, you can change this later as well from the redirect section over here. I'm just like setting up a random redirect. Click on continue button over here, and automatically when people visit leadsengine.co, they're going to be taken over to leads.com instead. Now over here, you can just like give it a name. So I'll just call it Robbie Test, and just give it any random password. So it should be between 8 to 256 characters. Those are Microsoft requirements because we'll be creating these passwords in Microsoft. It should include like at least like either an uppercase character or lowercase character or a number and a symbol. So just like have the correct password, click on continue. And now over here, you can see if you want to like give the people random names, we use like random white girl names. So you can do that. Those have like the highest reply rates. So we just do that. Otherwise, you can define the names as well. So you just like enter names separated by a line break. So let's say this. You can enter them. You can see 2 out of 100 names entered. You can do that. Ask ChatGPT or AI to generate the names like divided by a line break. So you can do that. Otherwise, just click on random names over here and click on the start order button. And now you have to do like nothing. It's going to do up everything for you, and you just wait for like maybe 5 to 30 minutes. Usually it takes around 5 minutes to create the 100 inboxes, but after that the DKIM record, DKIM, it's basically a record which is there, like it has to be created in order to send out like it just helps your deliverability, to put it out simply without getting much technical. And the thing is like you have to make a DNS change which is propagated instantly, like you make the DNS change in your registrar and we do it. But the issue with that is like Microsoft takes a lot of time to actually update that. And you might get errors when making this, and that's totally cool. You just click on the try again button, and then the error is going to be fixed. That fixes most of the errors. And again, if you're facing errors continuously, you can reach out to our support on WAP, share the email and the password you use on unlimited inboxes, and we'll fix and diagnose it for you in less than a day. So don't worry, I'm just going to like try this thing again, and that fixes like 95% of the errors. So as you can see, upon restarting the order, 20% of it has already been processed and now it's working fine. So feel free to contact support or to just retry. That's going to fix most of the issues. You can see around 18 inboxes have been created as well. You can see like all these inboxes being created. So now we just wait for the order to be complete, and then I can show you the next steps for the same. So the order is officially completed. As you can see, all 100 of them are done. And if you ever, like, by the way, in the future, if you ever want to change the redirect, the domain redirect, you can just come over here and select the domain, click on next, and just enter the site where you want it to redirect. So if you don't want it to go to leads.com, you can absolutely freaking change that. Now, all you do is either come directly to orders or come over to the inboxes section and click on the download inboxes for the particular domain. And I'll open it up in Google Sheets and show you what it looks like. I'll just like pause the video as well for a moment because the CSV file contains passwords as well, and I don't want the passwords to get leaked. Yep, as you can see, this is the exact file we downloaded. We have all the different inboxes and also the passwords. I'll just try adding one particular inbox which we just created so that you can see that the inboxes are actually working. So I'll just add this particular one to my email sending software. You can click on Microsoft 365, continue, and just enter the email and the password. I'll copy the password. Yeah, just enter, accept. And as you can see, the email inboxes are getting added automatically to the email sending software as well. So yeah, that's like just proof that it actually works. It's absolutely legit. Now, this account, the one I use, it is upgraded to the paid subscription, which is the $99 plan. You might be wondering, like, can I get inboxes for free as well? Absolutely. But on the free plan, we do allow you to create the 100 inboxes. But in order to actually see, like, that's just to see that a platform works. But obviously, we won't share like all the 100 inboxes with you. When you download the CSV, the first 10 will be visible to you, and the remaining 90, they're going to be like hidden. So if you want to see all the 100 inboxes, you can just like leave us an honest review over here. You can go over to unlimitedinboxes.com/free inboxes, and over here you just leave us like a real video review. We're not asking you to lie or something, just describe it. So you come here, enter, continue, and then you just like share your experience, and after that you're going to get a code which you can enter, and once the code has been entered, then we simply allow you to get 100 inboxes for free. So that's how you can get the 100 inboxes for free. Otherwise, you only get 10. If you don't want to leave a review, if you hate sharing your honest thoughts, that's totally cool as well. You can simply upgrade your paid subscription. We have one more plan, like on the $99 plan, you can have as many orders as you want. The only thing is that at once, only one order is going to be running. So like it takes like 5 to 30 minutes on average per order to be complete. If you want like 10 orders to be running at once or like 50 orders to be running at once, you can upgrade to the $199 plan. And the way you do that is just like have one order running and then try to create another order at the same time. And it's going to show you that either you wait or you can upgrade, and then you can simply upgrade to the paid plan over there. So that's how the inbox creation process over here works. So by this point, the inboxes which you created using unlimited inboxes have been added to your email sending platform as well. And before you start sending, you have to warm it up. And whilst you're sending, you have to ensure you're using like proper settings and everything. So this is exactly what you need to do in order to use the inboxes properly. So you might be wondering like how long I have to warm up. Some people say you have to warm up inboxes for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Well, for Microsoft, I think you should be warming up your inboxes for 3 days minimum. After a 3-day warm up period, you're free to start sending emails. But obviously, the more you wait, the better it's going to be. So if you want absolutely best results, maybe you can consider warming up to like 14 days or something. But the increase in deliverability and results, it's not exponential. So it's not like if you wait 14 days instead of 3 days, you're going to get like crazy high results. You're going to get like massive improvements in deliverability. It's not that much. So most people, I'll say 3 days is fine. You can wait up to 14 as well if you want to. Coming to how many warm-up emails to send and everything, you send 5 warm-up emails every day. This is optional, but you can increase the number of warm-up emails you're sending to 7 as well. And you do this by increasing 1 email daily. So you start by sending like 5 warm-up emails, then the next day it sends 6, and the next day it sends like 7. In case you're wondering like how to do this, I'll quickly show you once I go through the theory stuff basically. Warm-up reply rate is 35 to 40%. So some email sending platforms won't allow you to set this. If your platform allows you to do, 35 to 40% is pretty good for warm-up settings and everything. So I'll show you how you can do all of this. So whatever your plan on doing, like let's say I want to change the settings of this, just come here and click on enable warm-up first of all. So enable warm-up, the settings might look different like how you do it. It will be different on email platform to email platform, but it's pretty simple. Like there's going to be an option surely to enable warm-up. So enable warm-up, and after that click on edit settings. So your platform also has a place, you can change the settings of the email sender and the warm-up. So come out to the warm-up settings, and over here you can simply enter the daily warm-up limit. So you can either set it to 5 or 7, does not really matter. I like to leave it at 7. You can leave it at 5 as well. That's totally cool. If you're having issues, I'll suggest you to keep it at like 5. So after that, if you want, you can also have this warm-up email ramp up. So turn this on if you wanted. And what you do is you start with 5 emails, and every day you increase 1 till the time you're sending 7 warm-up emails daily. After that, you can select what type of businesses you're dealing with. So +5 has that. So let's say I'm targeting like digital marketing agencies, I can select this. If I'm targeting, let's say like e-commerce companies, I can do this. If you don't have like a business over here, like the niche targeting, if that does not exist over here, just like leave it blank, whatever. But I target mostly like B2B companies, so I just select like digital marketing agencies. The remaining settings, I don't really do this like warm up signal. Like I don't really do all of these things. I just like over here set the warm up reply rate. So you can leave it to like 35%, 40%, that's fine. You can experiment with it. If things change in the future, you can do that. I'm just sharing the settings which we use. So I'll save the warm-up settings over here. Then I can come out to account settings, and over here, if you want to like forward replies to a particular email address, with a main Google Workspace email where you can reply to people, you can do that as well if you want to. I don't really do that. Daily campaign email limit, you set it to 5. We want to send 5 cold emails a day per inbox, and minimum interval in minutes, you set it to 60. We don't want to send more than one email every 1 hour, and that's fine. Like this is per inbox. So there are 24 hours in a day. You can send 24 cold emails with this setting, and we only want to send 5, so you're going to be fine. It's not an issue. You can have like email signature as well. I just won't suggest you to have like links or some bullshit like that. I just leave it blank. I don't track open rates, so don't set like custom tracking domains. Do not track open rates, they're useless. Just track like reply rates, that's fine. Like do not track opens and shit because it destroys deliverability. And click on the save account settings over here. And you do this for all the accounts. I just showed you how to do it for once. You can select all of them and you can make these changes in bulk. So one more thing I'll suggest you to do is after you create the inboxes, do not add them immediately to your email sending platform. Do not immediately start warming up because this is when most problems are gonna arise. So you're gonna see like errors and all that shit. So those errors are solved 99% of the times if you just like wait 1 to 2 days. So if you create fresh inboxes and you just like upload them directly, I don't think so that's going to be the smartest idea because like most like it's just normal. You just have to wait a day or two in order to not get errors. If you're like really impatient, you can try uploading it and you can try the like just try to start the warm up process immediately as well. But your accounts might get disconnected. You might see errors on your email sending platform. And if that happens, that's totally normal. All you do is simply remove them. So I actually kept in like some inboxes which have errors. So I'll simply show you. So what you can do is account status error. So I'll just show you all the accounts which have an error over here. You can see you get this error because these are freshly created accounts and we just added all of them. So select all of them and just like reconnect, or you'd remove them and then you upload the CSV file again. So I'm just going to click on this thing, like reconnect. If this does not work, remove them and then do it. And you can see the errors, everything is gone. So I just suggest you to wait for 1 to 2 days. If you're not getting errors by adding inboxes instantly, you can do that. And if you get disconnects, remove them and re-upload them. It's going to be fine, nothing serious. If after 1 to 2 days, after re-uploading, if you're still getting errors, feel free to contact us on WAP support. One more, like I've told you this already, 5 cold emails a day after warm-up. When you're sending the emails after the warm-up period, do not stop sending warm-up emails. You send 5 to 7 warm-up emails and 5 cold emails a day per inbox as well. You can also try to increase the number of cold emails you're sending, maybe up to 5, like 7 to 10 a day as well. I won't suggest you to do that. It's risky. It's better to like cap it at 5. Max 1 email per hour per inbox. We already said that in the settings previously. Use a lot of spin tags. If you don't know what spin tags is, like we will be adding like guides and shit later on that. But spin tags is basically like use different variations of copy, personalize your emails. Like, I'm not saying you should be writing emails manually. Use like first name, company name personalization. If possible, use AI personalization. Keep email short. That's what Microsoft likes. Don't try to add links. If you want to add a link, like have a space. So instead of adding, let's say google.com, type Google, add a like add some space and then enter .com. So people can still check you out without actually you adding a link, and try to get as many replies as possible. That keeps your account safe. So those are some things on using these inboxes properly and some warm up and sending settings. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us support. We're here for you. So at this point, I don't think so there's anything else which I need to cover. So you might be wondering like what are the next steps? So just a way to include this full course, full guide, tutorial, whatever you want to call it. I just suggest you to join our community on WAP, warp.com/unlimited inboxes. It's absolutely free to join, and we plan on adding like a lot of cool stuff over here. So we plan on adding free guides and courses on basically answering your frequently asked questions like how to solve common errors which you're getting, so that you don't have to like wait for our support to get back to you and you can like just fix on your own. After that, we also plan on adding courses on how to get better deliverability, how to keep your infrastructure safe, and all the best practices basically to ensure good inbox health and to get as good results as possible using cold email. If you have any issues, if the questions you have, if they're not answered using the materials which we provide in our WOP, feel free to contact our support and we'll fix it happily for you. Also in the WOP, there's going to be a chat which you can use to communicate with fellow cold emailers, fellow entrepreneurs. Basically, just speak to people in the same industry doing the exact same things as you. You can also just drop a message over there and we can get back to you if you have any questions related to anything else apart from it. But I'll suggest you to use support chat because it just helps us keep everything centralized. We can see which cases are pending, which cases have been resolved, and it's much better. But you can use the chat as well to communicate. That's all I have over here for this particular course, this particular guide. This course is constantly going to be updated on WOP. So join it. If there are any changes, whatever needs to be communicated will be communicated using WOP, the community, and the chat feature over there. For support, again, use WOP, please. It keeps everything centralized. It's much better to just communicate on WOP instead of texting me on WhatsApp or somewhere else.